So let's take a second to talk about formatting and comments. So we could build a program that looks like this, include IO streams so that we can input and output. We can use namespace std and close that statement so we don't have to keep linking all of our functions. We can then open up our program with a main function and start that main function with a block of code. We can then create a variable, call it x, assign 10 to that variable and close that statement. We can then output that x to the screen and end the line of output and close that statement, and then return 0, which ends our program. We can save that and compile, and we will get a compiled program, which can then be ran, and we get 10 out. But what's going on here? Your guess is as good as mine. So we can start to clean this up by formatting our file and being a good programmer. And format's something that makes it not only easier for us to read, but every single person that needs to read our programs, because we're not going to be the only people reading our programs. So this is a much better looking program that you can see what's going on, and it compiles and runs and outputs the same exact thing, but it's readable. And this, actually, we should start here. This is a style called KNR or Almond Style, where you put the curly brace on a new line to start. Or you could use a variant of the KNR style called the 1TBS style, where you put the opening curly brace on its own line. But every time you put one of these curly braces, notice you indent. And we're not going to do any more indenting inside of here because we haven't talked too much about scoping. But just know every time you do use curly braces, you want to indent a little bit more. And now we can even make this look a little bit better by adding in comments. And you can add a single line comment by just using // and then we can type stuff here like, "Hi, this is my first comment." And as you notice, this is grayed out, and this is stuff that's not going to be read by the compiler, but it can be read by us so that we know what's going on in the program. But if you notice, this is a single line comment, so when we go down, the next line is going to be something that is going to be code that's going to be read. So what if we want this to be more than one line? Well, we can just put a star here, and if you notice, everything turns into a comment, because this is what's known as a multi-line comment, because anything between these is going to be a comment. So you can just go off into the nether and type all day between those. And comments are very useful because we can do things like /* oopsies. And we could say developer, Alex, program, or description is probably a better one. This program outputs 10 to the terminal. And then we could come down here and say, create a variable called x, initialize it to 10, which isn't a very good comment because that's very obviously what we're doing here. But if, say, you're doing something much more complex, you could say, I don't know, You could get very creative with these. What I'm saying, you should describe what's happening in your code and not just say I'm creating a variable x and initializing it to 10. This is just an example. And then here you can say something like output our bound x to the terminal. And that's, just put x, whatever x is, put in the comment there. And then return 0, kill our program. And we can compile those, and it still will just compile as usual and be able to be ran, and we'll get the same output. This doesn't change our program at all. And that's all we need to know about formatting and comments for now.